Okay, so today I have a video that I am finally incredibly excited to film. It feels like it's been forever since I had a sketchbook spread that I actually liked, so I'm pretty stoked to be able to sit down and just chat about, I don't know yet, I haven't decided. I think what I'm gonna kind of try and talk about, or my overall theme is talking about, I guess, art block and like my experiences with it, because I don't know. I had never classified myself as someone who had it before, and recently I've just been really dissatisfied with the art that I've been making. So, if hearing me talk about what I love so much about this spread and maybe chatting a little bit about my dissatisfaction with my sketchbook spreads lately sounds like something you would enjoy. I'm Rory Fluent. Feel free to call me Rory. If you're new around here, hi, hello, how are you? Let me know in the comments down below. I like to create dope art content and hopefully a chill atmosphere. And if you're not new around here, what is up, my dudes? Let's get into this video. So, as I've already mentioned, I am super excited to show off this spread. I feel like it's finally really nice to be able to show something that I'm really proud of. I love the colors, I love the sketches, I love the way that I painted them, which is always the problem recently. I'm just really not happy with the way that I am painting and completing my sketches. I think one of the things that I really like about this spread is the slightly more crammed in nature of the sketches and the slight overlap that they have. Gel Arts is amazing at creating really stylistically interesting and compositionally interesting sketchbook spreads, and I think going into my new sketchbook, I want to kind of use their sketchbook spreads as a jumping off point to try and create spreads that I'm really fond of, that I feel fill up the page and are exciting and engaging for me to create. Because, I've noticed that when my spreads aren't engaging for me, when I'm not really excited about the content that I'm drawing, I have a lot harder of a time drawing it. And that isn't to say that I'm not happy to do spreads where maybe I'm learning the anatomy of a creature or studying landscapes, but I don't know, something about the fact that I haven't been inspired by what I'm drawing lately. I haven't been inspired to laugh. I haven't been happy with what I'm making and inspired to create more by what I personally am making, has been really disappointing and difficult for me, because I was kind of on like a trend there where I was really happy with my stuff, and now I'm not. But this spread was definitely an exception. I don't know why I ended up making it different and why it came out in a way that I really like, but it did. I guess that might be a fun thing to maybe explore and break down a little bit as I'm chatting through this voiceover to you guys. Oh my god, and I just remembered, I'm almost at 100 subscribers at this point in like my voiceover, which is really exciting. I just released my dogs video, which I personally was really happy to be able to talk to you guys about that little side project that I've been doing, painting rescues that I work with. And being able to show off, the product of something that I'm really proud of. I really like my Procreate paintings right now, and so I'm really trying to figure out how to integrate that into my sketchbook. I feel like that's a pretty common theme in my voiceovers for the last few spreads, especially the ones that I've been struggling with. And so I really want to take the new art supplies that I'm getting for Christmas, which I think is really going to help me elevate my doodles and bring the same energy that I do in Procreate to my traditional art. And I want to take those and I want to be excited again. Because the last spread in my sketchbook was a total bummer. It was the capybaras, and I don't know, they were too equally spaced, they weren't crammed together, there was a lot of white space, I was struggling, I was trying something new, and also kind of not liking it, but then kind of liking it, and the entire thing was incredibly difficult for me. I want to get to a point where I'm not struggling to push through sketchbook spreads, but I'm actually really happy about the way that they look compositionally and as a whole, even if each individual sketch isn't something that I love. But anyways, going back to this spread here, I think that there's a nice size contrast going on where I have lots of small doodles and lots of larger doodles, and I think that I was really focusing on subject matter that I enjoy painting, that I understand how to paint in this new style, and that meant that together I was able to create something that I became really fond of. These deep earthy greens and pale grays and very pale cool toned yellows are my favorite things to paint with, so the colors definitely helped as well. When I'm painting traditionally, I definitely find myself wanting to be able to kind of layer over things like I do in Procreate, which is why I think going into my next sketchbook, I also want to start trying to use a lot more gouache. Like, I think that I've moved a little bit away from watercolor, and I want to be able to layer the way that I do in Procreate, and I have to use a more opaque medium to be able to do that. So I want to be able to, integrate watercolor and gouache more together, and I think this spread I was using handmade watercolors, which are inherently a bit more opaque and grainy, and that was really helping with my layering and texture and, a lot of the things that I've been trying and chatting about for a while now that I've been kind of trying to do with my watercolor art. I always find when I add gouache that it makes my watercolor layer look strange. Like, it's so apparent that watercolor is transparent and gouache is opaque, and I haven't found a way to really marry them together, where with these slightly more opaque handmade watercolors, I don't know, it feels a bit easier to transition from slightly opaque to very opaque to completely transparent, and it doesn't look as jarring in an individual sketch. As a side note, if you hear, a bit of a scratchiness in my voice, I'm slightly sick. I feel like everyone is right now. I hate the beginning of winter because everybody always catches a cold, and then it sucks for the first couple weeks, and then it's Christmas, and it low-key sucks on Christmas, and it's like, what is happening? I feel like none of our bodies know what's going on, and so it just reacts by giving us all colds, and it's honestly terrible. I thought when I got out of school, and I was kind of out of the cesspool that is a high school and a college, I wouldn't have to deal with being sick, but I'm still a little bit sick, which totally blows. But if you hear kind of a difference in my voice, I felt like getting up and doing something today, but my voice wasn't necessarily on the same page as me. Going back to this spread, I think that I was being incredibly conscientious of the decisions that I was making, and as I mentioned before, these were subjects that I was pretty comfortable drawing, chickens, which I love chickens, and these owls, which are a fairly new integration into my style, but kind of still these feathery creatures that I can go at and complete similar to how I would a chicken, and birds, and all that kind of stuff. It's things that I'm very familiar with painting, not only in my old style, but also in this more textured, chaotic, fluid brushstroke style as well. And I think that really helped me be able to create a page that I liked. But what I'm frustrated with is that I want to be able to take this and I want to be able to create something in my style that I've never drawn before and like it. And I can do that in Procreate. I just recently drew some squirrels and a landscape painting, which are things that I'm not super well versed in painting at all. And I was able to create that and make something that I'm really proud of. And then I try to do the same thing traditionally and I fail. And that's been incredibly discouraging lately, but this sketchbook spread and, I keep saying spread, but I kind of broke this spread into 2 videos because I loved it so much, so I wanted to kind of talk about this first page and then talk about the second page and kind of give them both their own individual videos to shine, because I kind of wanted to take the video a bit slower and just be able to show you guys at a slightly slower pace what I'm up to and what I'm doing in my spread. Also, for my own purposes, I wanted to be able to look a little bit more closely at what was going on, because honestly, this spread took so long in of itself that breaking it up into 2 videos was almost a necessity, honestly. I can see in the video that I'm also kind of not afraid to layer over and almost do like a glaze on top of, for example, the green chicken to kind of meld and blur some of those textures together so they're not quite as harsh, which I really like and I want to keep in mind in the future. I'm also kind of going in pretty early on with some Copic marker to create some darker shadows and outlines and give myself a better idea of my goal when I'm painting. And I don't know, I really made a point of like just really starting out slow and layering and layering and layering, which I also think really helped, especially with these two big chickens that are taking up most of the page at the moment. Going back to this sort of like art block, art funk that I've been in lately, I'll definitely say that kind of like going back to my basics and drawing things that I'm familiar with and really enjoy drawing was incredibly helpful for this spread. But I think also, as I've already mentioned, I really want to be able to take this style and apply it to everything that I'm drawing and painting. And it's just proving to be incredibly difficult for me and just really not something that I'm enjoying doing. I'm thinking maybe I could have lost a little bit of steam as the sketchbook, continued and persisted, and I made, some bad spreads, which turned into worse spreads, and what I mean by bad spreads are just spreads that I'm not personally happy with, and that I don't feel like I learned anything from, and just completely struggled through. So I guess I should probably, be a little bit careful with how I'm talking about it, and maybe they're not bad spreads, but I struggled with them, I don't like them, I'm not happy or satisfied with the way that they turned out, where with this spread, I'm really happy with it. Even though I do think there are sketches that I don't love, I just think the expressiveness of the chickens and the different kinds of chickens that I was able to draw was so exciting and really fun. Like, I took something that I'm pretty comfortable with and tried to push that and expand it. I've never drawn a bird lying on its back, or I was trying to draw two chickens kind of interacting next to each other, which isn't something that I really do. And I do really like the more crammed in, overlapping nature of these sketches, and I really need to keep that in mind. But I was taking something that I'm comfortable with and trying to expand on it, which, I did, learn during this spread, and I did experiment and try things out, and I was, in the end, really happy with my experimentation, where lately I haven't been, and I really want to figure out, I don't know, I just have to assume that I maybe got a little bit tired of this sketchbook, and I'm hoping that starting a new sketchbook and just really focusing on everything that I'm drawing and going at every new spread with a better understanding and idea and goal of what I want to create, and what I've learned from this sketchbook will help the next one be overall a better experience. Because I do not like this art block, and one of the things I've been doing since this spread is only drawing in Procreate. For about 2 weeks now, actually, I've just been drawing in Procreate, painting, even doing some small sketching and stuff like that, trying to kind of take a break from traditional art and really focus on what I love about Procreate so that I can also take that into my next sketchbook adventure. So, actually, quite a few of the videos that you'll be getting after I've completed this sketchbook will be from Procreate, and will be kind of like full paintings from start to finish, or maybe just some chatting about some of the pieces that I've made while I've been taking a break from traditional media. Because I like sharing what I've created off camera, even if maybe I'm not necessarily showing you guys the process, and I can always pop up the little time-lapse video of what I've created in Procreate, which I totally love being able to do. I'm also kind of thinking that part of my problem with this sketchbook was its size. I think in the beginning I was really excited and happy to have more space, and as it went on, the sketchbook spreads became a lot more difficult to fully complete and fill in because they took so much time. I mean, you can tell that this particular page has a ton of little sketches on it, and I'm, painting every single one as I would to completion, and this video is still 20 minutes long, and these clips are sped up by what? I don't even know, honestly, 3 or 4 times speed, which is why I was able to break up this spread into 2 individual videos. And not only that, but I just, like I said, I wanted to give them time to shine and, sit down and chat through my process and pick a theme and talk to you guys a little bit while you see art that I'm really proud of and really like. I'm a pretty huge fan of the chickens at the bottom of this page. I really love how goofy the one putting his head to the floor is. I'd love to make some sort of full illustration out of him. And also the chicken that's kind of, you're seeing him from sort of a you're looking up at him sort of angle on the bottom of the spread next to the owl. I think that he's very funny as well, and I had a lot of fun trying out a different angle that I'm not super familiar with drawing anything in, let alone a chicken. Going back to what I was previously saying, though, this sketchbook is an average piece of paper size, so like 8.5 by 11, and I just, I feel like that was such a huge jump from like the 5 by 8 that I was used to sketching in, that I don't even know if it was that big, maybe 5 by 7.5 or something like that, because it was just very small in comparison, and I was happy to have more space and to be able to draw much larger and get more details in, but then I also struggled a great deal at the end of the sketchbook with the fact that I was struggling in my art and having a difficult time creating things that I liked, so having to complete this giant page full of things that I don't know, I was kind of not happy to do from the start, made completing the sketchbook spreads really, really difficult. Thankfully, though, this chicken spread was not one of them, and I feel like it turned out really dope and just really fun, and I'm really happy with the textures in it, and like I said, the collage-y nature, and the entire spread as a whole is something that I really, really like. I think in the next video I want to talk about drawing little creatures and drawing new creatures, because I actually take what I learned on this page and on the second page integrate a new, I think they're called an echidna or something like that, or kind of this armadillo-y inspired creature that I doodled up, and I was really happy with the way that he turned out, and I draw a few of them on the page, and yeah, I don't know, I'm just, I'm stoked with the way these chickens turned out, and their expressions, they make me laugh. I really enjoy looking at them, and that was really refreshing, because it's been a second since an entire spread has come together for me. I really wanted to end this sketchbook, on a happier note, so I actually withheld these 2 videos and the, what I'm going to consider like the final page of the sketchbook, even though what I create after it is the capybaras, which I explained in the capybaras video that I really wanted to show you guys and end the sketchbook on art that I'm proud of, so I chose to hold these videos and not do them chronologically so that I could just end on a nice, happy note that I am proud of, so that going into this next sketchbook, it kind of gives me a boost of confidence, hopefully. I don't know, fingers crossed. It was really nice to feel very comfortable in what I was drawing and still feel like I was pushing myself. It was just really encouraging to see these sketches come out in a way that I intended them to and was not discouraged by, because I was just getting really, really tired. Even at this point in the sketchbook, which is a few spreads before the capybaras one, I was just getting really tired of being a little bit not happy with my spread. So this was encouraging. And the one after this spread, I was also really happy with, and I think tried some new things with. I think it's the next video that will be posted after the second half of this video, if that makes sense. And I was like really, really happy with the way that it turned out as well, which is why I'm ending on it. But then I just dipped right back down again. And it was just sort of, I don't know, like making art that I wasn't happy with color combinations that I was not happy with. I definitely am a huge color person. Like, I need to be a lot more mindful of the colors that I'm choosing, because I find that they can really make or break a spread. Especially as I completed this sketchbook, I really came to realize that that was just incredibly important. So as I finish up these last few details and kind of get into the last little bit of this video, I wanted to thank you guys so much for joining me on my art journey. As I mentioned, I feel like I said that like 7 times throughout this video, so I'm gonna have to find like some other phrase to be like in reference to what I said before, but anyways, I'm almost at 100 subscribers. There's like literally almost 100 of you, which is really, really exciting. Like, that's enough people that like literally you guys couldn't all fit in a room together, and I just think that that's super mind-blowing. So if you are one of those people, hi, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you really like this spread as much as I do, and if you're not one of those people and you're new but you still decided to stay to the end, thank you. That is so exciting. Consider subscribing and doing the YouTube-y things, liking and commenting, and hopefully I will be able to talk to you guys in the next video, which will be like the second part of this one that I am equally as happy with, if not a little bit more excited about. So hopefully I will get to talk to you guys in that one. Bye!